Hi, this is Michelle from Raw and Real, and today's topic is going to be kind of a controversial one, and that's the topic of forgiveness. And you might think, well, why would forgiveness be a controversial topic? Well, if you've ever been hurt, and I mean really hurt, at the hands of someone, whether it's a parent, or a boyfriend, husband, friend, whoever, stranger, and they've done something really, really heinous, and I'm talking physical abuse, sexual abuse, stolen something, maybe drunk driving, assault, something really, really severe. If the topic of forgiveness comes up, of forgiving that person, it can really probably bring up a lot of anger and resentment and a lot of really strong hostile reactions toward the person asking you to forgive that individual. So I wanted to talk today about forgiveness and what it means, what it doesn't mean, and why it's important. What benefits can we get from forgiving? We have a friend that is getting sober after many years of drinking, and we were talking about forgiveness last night. And I remember my mother, who was an alcoholic, talking about forgiveness, and that's something that's really promoted in a lot of the 12-step circles, that your resentments can eat away at you. And in fact, that's true. There's a saying that I really love, and that's that hatred is like acid. It hurts the vessel that it's stored in more than the object that it's poured out on. And so with us, if we've been really, really hurt by somebody else's action, that seething resentment and anger that we have toward that individual, however appropriate toward that individual's action, ends up hurting us in the long run. It robs us of our joy and our peace, because long after that person may be out of our life, we're still dealing with these feelings. So what does forgiveness entail? Well, in order for somebody to receive the forgiveness that most people think of when they think of the word forgiveness, of actually restoring the relationship with that person would have to be sorry, and ideally, even 12-step groups recommend this, make amends. And what is an amend? Amend is some sort of an action, kind of like a restitution. In nonviolent communication, they call it restorative justice, where some way you try to make it up to that person. If you've stolen something, you give it back, or you pay it back, or you somehow try to right the damage. And you do that on an ongoing basis, and you have stopped whatever hurtful behavior caused the hurt. So whatever it is, you try to make it right. Even then, you really don't have to be in relationship with that person. It's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to forgive or not. So like if a husband has an affair on a wife and the wife decides to divorce, he may be sorry and she may even forgive him, but still choose to divorce him anyway. So my point is that it is totally appropriate to set boundaries with people who have shown that they're unsafe. And whether they're sorry or not, you have a right to protect yourself and to create safety. Hands down. Now, forgiveness oftentimes is confused with you're getting back into relationship with that person, but that's not necessarily true. You can set a boundary with somebody, recognize that they're an unsafe person because they're in their wounding, lashing out, and just have some really hurtful behaviors, and so you're like, I need to keep some distance with that person. But once you've created safety and you're now no longer in the line of fire, you still have all this acid-like hatred and resentment within you. From that place of safety, you may want to forgive in the sense that you see them for the wounded person that they are, you feel for them, you wish them well, you hope they get help to heal that woundedness so that they don't keep hurting themselves and other people. And you let go of that for yourself because it doesn't feel good to stay in that angry state. Now, some people feel that they have to stay in that angry state in order to protect themselves. Not so. You can do all sorts of things to protect yourself and not have it rob you of your peace. So, I've had friends, she had a father who was incredibly abusive and physically and sexually, and when she finally came forward years later, everybody wanted to rush forward and tell her she needed to forgive him. And that can be so incredibly damaging to the person who has gone through that, because it is not our place, none of us, it's not our place to tell somebody whether or not they should forgive somebody. And it's certainly not our place to force them to get back into relationship with that person, which we often do because people want the status quo. Because what ends up happening is oftentimes it ruptures families. If somebody is an abusive person and they're not changing their behavior, and somebody chooses to set some appropriate boundaries to protect themselves, well, it creates disunity in the family. And, if you want to, confront anybody, don't force the person who's been hurt to forgive somebody. Go tell the perpetrator, hey, look, you need to change your act. But the forgiveness that I'm talking about is once you are in a safe space and you have protected yourself, do what you can to feel sorry for that person's pain, because only hurting people hurt people. Think about it. No happy person has ever beaten somebody else up or sexually molested them or stolen from them or done some other hurtful thing. Only a hurting, desperate person does those types of actions. So see that woundedness in that person, hold them accountable, definitely, and that means even prosecuting them by law if necessary, but feel sorry for them. And it takes away that bitterness that's eating inside of you. So I hope this video helped. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts, your comments. Hopefully this has been helpful, maybe not. But anyway, I thought it was important that we address this topic because there's a lot of people who, because of that anger and that hatred and not still feeling safe, they're self-medicating with food or drink or drugs or whatever. So this is about you and your healing journey. So I'm here in your corner, and feel free to see my video on the Personal Bill of Rights on daily self-care, because you have a right to remove yourself from any situation that your safety is jeopardized. Thanks for watching.